Shalom. This is Truth is Everlasting, Lion's Den. I am Yahweh Sat. I camp out with Lion Den, Hawan, in Joshua, in Jacksonville, Florida. But first I have to give a prayer to the Father, to the Son, to the elders, to the Akims, and to the women and children in Paleo-Hebrew language. Kal halayim la Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Bahashem ha-Rokah Kodash Mahamah, in the name of Yahweh Shai, in spirit, holy, and in truth. Double honors to the 144,000 chosen elect. Double honors to the apostles of GMS. Double honors to the apostles of Lion Den's camp. Salutations to the Akims who are on the four corners of the earth, and to the women and children, Shalom. Now, by the way, Lion at the end is not a S, it's a Z. Lions Den Camp. Okay, let's read this here. It says, breaking news, Trump lawyers walk out. Mid-trial judge order marshals to block all exit. Threatens arrest. You know, they're making a big thing of entertainment here. I'm going to share some insight of what I had the honor one time meeting a known man that when he was young, he became a self-made student of law. As he became older, he was an Edomite. It has helped him a great deal in situations at that time, but because he's an Edomite, okay? Let me make that clear. The title of this lesson, Dare They Cry, okay? He'll play over here.
If you care about the survival of American institutions, you need to pay attention to what I'm about to tell you. Subscribe to this channel right now and turn on notifications, because what happened today in a federal courtroom in Manhattan isn't just a legal story. It's a stress test on whether our democracy can actually function when someone decides the rules simply don't apply to them. Here's what we know. At approximately 11:47 this morning...
It's like I couldn't help it. The rules never apply to the rich people. Okay? It's all one big show of entertainment. Slaka, here we go.
In the middle of active federal court proceedings, three of the highest paid defense attorneys in America stood up from the counsel table, gathered their papers, and attempted to walk out of the courtroom while a federal judge was mid-sentence. Let me say that again so it lands properly. Licensed officers of the court, sworn to uphold the Constitution, tried to physically abandon their client and flee a federal proceeding because they didn't like a ruling. What happened next is something that hasn't occurred in a federal courthouse in over 2 decades. Let me take you through the sequence of events because the details matter enormously here. The morning session began with what court observers described as routine procedural arguments. The prosecution was seeking to admit certain financial documents. The defense was objecting. Standard stuff for a case of this complexity. But here's where you need to understand the context. 48 hours before this hearing, something happened that we only know about because of a clerical error. A sealed filing was accidentally uploaded to PACER, the federal court's electronic records system. It was visible for exactly 17 minutes before being removed. In those 17 minutes, legal researchers captured the filing. What did it contain? According to multiple sources who reviewed the documents, the prosecution had submitted new evidence consisting of encrypted communications between Trump and his co-defendants during what the defense had previously characterized as a blackout period, when they claimed absolutely no contact occurred. The documents allegedly included wire transfers totaling $4.7 million. And what one source described as the most damaging paper trail ever assembled in a white-collar criminal case. This morning, Judge Patricia Caldwell ruled all 847 pages admissible. That's when everything fell apart. Lead attorney Robert Sterling rose from the counsel table. Court reporter Maria Rodriguez captured every word. Sterling allegedly stated, Your Honor, this court has abandoned all pretense of impartiality. We cannot and will not participate in what has become a predetermined show trial. His co-counsel, Jennifer Matthews, added, "This is prosecutorial misconduct at its worst, and we refuse to legitimize it with our presence." And then they started walking toward the door. Now, I need you to understand something about federal courts. Judge Patricia Caldwell is a Reagan appointee. She has served on the federal bench for 31 years. She is known universally for her measured temperament. Defense attorneys generally consider drawing her a stroke of good luck because she runs a fair courtroom. This judge looked at 3 attorneys attempting to abandon their client mid-trial and said the following words, which are now part of the official record. "Counselors, if you take one more step toward that door, I will hold you in criminal contempt and issue bench warrants for your immediate arrest." She then ordered United States Marshals to block every exit. 6 armed federal marshals positioned themselves at all doors within seconds. The standoff lasted exactly 7 minutes and 23 seconds. If you're finding this valuable, hit that like button right now because this story is about to get significantly more complicated. Here's what Judge Caldwell revealed that explains why Trump's attorneys were so desperate to escape that courtroom. According to sources with direct knowledge of the proceedings, the judge announced she had received a sealed ex parte submission from the Department of Justice that very morning. For those unfamiliar with legal procedure, let me explain why this matters. Ex parte means only one side sees the submission. Federal judges almost never allow ex parte communications. They are reserved almost exclusively for matters involving national security or witness protection. Judge Caldwell stated on the record that based on this filing, she was considering enhanced security measures and potentially sequestering the jury. Every experienced criminal defense attorney in the country immediately understood what this meant. The prosecution has a cooperating witness. Someone in Trump's inner circle has flipped. Former federal prosecutor Andrew McCarthy told Fox News within hours, when defense attorneys hear about a sealed ex parte submission in a case of this magnitude, they know the walls are closing in. Someone on the inside has turned, and they're about to drop a bomb the defense never saw coming. The panic suddenly makes complete sense. Let me connect some dots here, because this is where the story moves from legal drama to something far more consequential. Court documents show that within 30 minutes of returning to their seats after that 7-minute standoff, Sterling's team filed an emergency motion for a mistrial citing judicial bias and prosecutorial misconduct. They simultaneously filed a motion to recuse Judge Caldwell, arguing that her threat of arrest demonstrated personal animus toward the defense. Do you see what happened here? By creating this dramatic spectacle, they have effectively manufactured grounds for multiple appeals regardless of how this trial ends. Every legal expert analyzing this situation agrees on one point. This was theater designed for an audience far beyond that courtroom. And here's the evidence that suggests this was coordinated. Sources say Fox News had camera crews positioned outside the courthouse 45 minutes before the walkout occurred. Several conservative commentators were tweeting about judicial tyranny before news of the incident had even gone public. How did they know something was going to happen? Subscribe now if you want to follow where this...
Okay, let me just stop it right there. Because it's all planned. Okay, every lawyer before they go to court, they sit down and they plan their acting role. Okay? Especially the rich people. But what is not mentioned at all, that I'm sure that Donald Trump is very, very aware, because he's promoting it big time, is that the new AI is recording everything that's going on, and for good reason. So when they turn on the new AI and turn it loose, it can override laws that they call Constitution, right? Because if the Constitution is so great, how come they still have us oppressed? How come they still have us as slaves? If it's that great, right? How come they still standing on stolen land if the Constitution is that great? You see the hypocrite behind this talk that they are doing right now? Now, of course, The only thing that is going on that Trump is not happy, because they're complaining and crying about that the laws you know what's the word she used? I don't remember right now, Slacker, but the laws being used against them is that Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is revealing the wickedness not only of people in power, but also of the court system, the law system, right? So the people in power, right, number 47, he's crying out that I don't have to take this. I am the president, right? What I say goes. Okay, well, let's go to Job chapter 35, verse 12. They cry, but none gives answer because of the pride of evil men, right? So you can see that the Edomites are fighting among themselves. It's getting to a point where their own kind is fed up with what their own kind is doing to them as well. Okay? Because, what was his name? Billy Gates said, gotta bring the population down. Also, gotta remind yourself, you saw Conigos Martinez and Speckled Birds, that Elon Musk was allowed to work for a short period of time to gather everyone's information, record, social security, birth certificate, and download it into the AI. To keep track, watch everything, to use it against people that they can find that are weak of our people, even their own people. Okay? So you cannot let that, go by and forget that, because these lawyers or these judges, okay, what's that, a prime tier, whatever it's called, is looking to all their records, right? And since AI is going to take over the court system, well, it has to learn, right, how to maneuver, deceive, lie, right, and reject that which they call law. Okay? Verse 2, no, I said verse 12, verse 13, Slovakia. Surely Yahweh will not hear vanity. That's what it's all about right here, right now. Neither will the Almighty regard it. No. They're making a show, entertainment, right? The system say, well, he did break the law. He's not caring for our people. Let's see what amount of money we can take away from him. Every time that a rich person is being sued, it only makes it worse to us. In reality and in truth, that's what happens. Because they're going to stick it to us. Right? So it's not like they're really losing any money. Okay? Just that they're helping AI to learn how the game is playing so they can play it. Job chapter 27. Give me a minute. Verse 9. Will Yahweh hear his cry? Nah, he ain't going to hear his cry. When trouble cometh upon him? Nah. Hell no. Right? Keep on crying. Verse 13. This is the portion of a wicked man with Yahweh, the heritage of oppressors which they shall receive of the Almighty. Verse 14. If his children be multiplied, it is for the sword. There you go. Right? And his offspring shall not be satisfied with bread. No. Listen, if their father is not satisfied with money, his children are not going to be satisfied with money either. Now, I was going to let you share with you a little bit about this insight thing that I got to learn about law, I had the honor of meeting an old man, an Edomite, who was sharing with me how he became a self-made. They got another name, Slack. It doesn't come to me, but he learned the law, and what he did was at a young age. I don't know what age he started, but he started investing and buying all the law books. Okay, he lived in the country. And in his basement, he had wall-to-wall law books. I mean, it was impressive. One big room, all four walls, law books on the table, you name it. Okay? And people used to go and learn from him. He would give classes, you see. And one of the shocking things that was that he would talk about, it was that, people, ordinary people, okay, and I'm talking to the so-called Negros, Latinos, and speckled birds. You think that you go to court and you just, say the truth and that's it, right? No, they have a book, a procedure process book, I think it's called, and that book is changed every year, and it tells you with the new words what to say that will be correct to win the case. It has nothing to do with right or wrong. It's what I want to say. Is that you follow the procedures of that book, like tennis. Those are those rules. Okay? So when he said that, I said, damn, you mean that has nothing to do who's right and who's wrong? He goes, no. If you have the money to play the game, and you order the book, right? And you learn at that year the procedure that they will mark you as correct, you win the case, right or wrong. Okay? The name of this man, he is well known because the elders used to watch his videos. And when I say elders, I'm talking about from GMS. His name is George Gordon. Okay? He used to practice the, what you call the Mosaic Law. He used to teach that as well. Could be a Jake, but when I met him and spent time with him and learning the truth, I didn't know at that time what I know now. That's how come I say Edomite, But, yeah. It was very interesting how he'd been to court so many times. But, he's an Edomite, so of course it's going to favor on his side. We go to court and apply what he does, it ain't going to work, okay? Because they're going to keep on oppressing us until Yahweh Bashin Yashai comes back. I want to go to Isaiah chapter 1, Salakia, verse 15. And when ye spread forth your hand, I will hide my eyes from you. Yea, when ye make many prayers, I will not hear. Your hands are full of blood. Woo! That is so true. Right? Who wants to listen to an imposter? You see, it's not, the thing is that our people, so-called Negros, Latinos, and speckled birds, are not paying attention to what the elders, through the Spirit in the name of Yahweh Shai, are teaching, right? That the people in power, they don't have the same inheritance that we have. The Bible does not belong to the whole world. It only belongs to 12 tribes, the so-called Negros, Latinos, and speckled birds, right? So when you hear these 501c3 incorporated churches, Christian churches, saying it belongs to the whole world, that's one big fat lie. Okay? Not only is a lie, but that when you really sit down and you think about it, all the wickedness, all the ugliness that people in power, the so-called white people, have done to our people, right? And never been punished for it, okay? And our people today, they think they're free. You know, of course, yeah, we can go to work, we can go to the store, go to a movie, right? But that's not freedom. I mean, you gotta pay taxes to when you have your car. You gotta pay taxes when you have land. You own nothing, right? So our people don't really know what freedom is until they repent in the name of Yahweh Shai and look for a camp to learn. You know, you don't have to even go outside no more to look for a camp because the time is getting shorter, and we are very iffy, right? I mean, well, I'm not saying you can't go to the camp. You can go to the camp, but we are iffy through the scripture. But you can learn it through the internet while the internet is still on, because they're going to turn it off. The second shutdown will come. And when they turn it off and they turn it back on, it's when you have to ask permission, right? You have to show your face, your elbow, your butt, your fingerprint. And then when they look into your account in the internet, if they see anything that you have talked against them, oh man, you know that AI is going to say, nope, you cannot go into the internet. Matter of fact, you cannot go to the store and buy or go to work. We already know this, okay? I mean, the work that we've been doing, the scripture makes it clear, right? That it's going to come to a point in time where once the digital currency is activated, the invisible money, can you believe it? Now we have to play the game of invisible. Bad enough we will play Monopoly money, right? Now we're going to play the invisible game. New rules, by the way, okay? So rest assured that we are not going to be accepted, okay? So keep that in mind, and also keep in mind that once they bring the digital currency, rest assured after that they will mandate the charagma that they have to put inside of our people, right? Turn them into cyborgs because they need someone to fight Yahweh Shai and the host of angels when he comes back. Okay. I want to go to Isaiah chapter 59. It's like I took so long talking there. None call for justice, nor any plea for truth. They trust in vanity and speak lies. They conceive mischief and bring forth iniquity. Yeah, you know, I forgot who's the one who brought it up, but you know, the system of law, they use it towards our people as a weapon. Okay, that's all they do. It's not really, you know, just because you see a couple of our people winning, right? Nah, it's only a couple, okay? I want to go to Proverbs chapter 15, verse 29. Yahweh is far from the wicked, but he hears the prayer of the righteous. Yeah. And you know, the Edomites are wicked. Okay? There's no buts. That's who they are. Let me go to Psalm chapter 10, verse 2. The wicked in his pride, and boy are they prideful, do prosecute the poor. Let them be taken in their devices that they have imagined. Yeah. I mean, look what's going on right now with ICE, right? I heard through other videos that I've been looking at that it's not really, they call it ICE, but really it is martial law because they're breaking every law in the book. And you see how slow the court system is taking to prosecute them, to stop them, right? They want to keep it, oh, well, you don't understand the law. Okay. No matter what they keep saying, it's not going to stop or change what Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai said is going to be fulfilled. Okay? So they are trying to delay, the outcome, but the end of this wicked world is closer than ever before. I want to go to Job chapter 35. Again, verse 14. Although thou sayest thou shalt not see him, yet judgment is before him. Therefore trust thou in him. Yeah. Edomites don't see Yahweh Shai. We don't see him. But we have faith. That's something that was not given to the wicked. It's not their inheritance, you see. And I mean, they play a good acting game, but the gig is up. The whole world knows who the wicked are, right? And that they want to take over the whole world, okay? And when I say take over the whole world, they want to take over their own kind, right? Russia, England, Europe, Canada. I mean, he wants all of it now, right? Well, okay, go for it. Down he tells us that the end of this wicked kingdom is closer, right? So I'm going to leave it with Job chapter 9. Check this out. So people say, well, how do you know that they're the one that the Bible talks about? Well, through the Spirit. If the Spirit of Yahweh Shai is not in you, he will not give you the understanding through the elders. How you like that? Job chapter 9. Let me see. Give me a minute. Salakia. Okay. Let's start with verse 11. Lo, he goes by him and sees him not. He passed on also, but I perceive him not. Yeah. The wicked does not see him, even with technology, right? I mean, they see the chariots, they call them what? UFOs, and then they have so many other names for Slovakia, but I use the old name that they used to call it, UFOs, right? And they deceive our people, so-called Eagles, Latino American speckled birds, that those UFOs are aliens, right? 10 feet tall, real skinny, big head with big black eyes, green, butt naked. Now, come on, man. We're living in 2026. Let me ask my people a question. Are you going to tell me that these advanced aliens, butt naked, can make advanced ships, right? The UFOs. The Bible calls them chariots or clouds, okay? That can do maneuvers that nothing on earth can do, but yet they cannot make clothes. Huh? Okay, all right. So I'll leave it with verse 24. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covers the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So the reason it leaves it as a question because it's telling our people to look into it. While you still have the phone that is called a smartphone, before it shuts down, if you want to gain strength, understanding, repent in the name of Yahweh Shai, and you be surprised. Only understand that it's Yahweh Shai who decides who to give the understanding by guiding you to what camp and elders to learn from. Because he knows everyone's heart. Okay? You don't deceive Yahweh Shai. You see? But the faces of the judges is talking about his people, the elders who are out there in the highways and byways. Okay? Who have the true spirit and have the true name of Yahweh Shai. It's not that Jesus, right? That is Caesar Borgia, son of a pope. Okay? I hope that this was edifying, and with that I say, Shalom.